Hi everybody, I'm Cari Fennell and I'm on live with Prima tonight to share with you a really easy spring themed project called the Rustic, let's see if I can angle this right, the Rustic Springtime Canvas. To me, it reminds me of kind of like an old window, and there's some branches and foliage out there, and it's quite simple, but I really like my home decor to be more on the simple side. I feel like, you know, um, it has to go with a lot of other things and, that I have, within my home. But what's really cool about this project, though, is I have some really fun techniques, of course. So even if it's a simple project, maybe you could take some of the techniques and, take them maybe a step further or incorporate them into other projects that you may be working on, like mini books or layouts, anything like that. So, I just, that's always my goal, is to inspire you to use the techniques and the ideas that we incorporate into the shows onto any projects that you like. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to turn the camera around. Woo. And there we go. Hopefully that's decent there. If not, I can just kind of tilt it a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so one thing about this canvas, I will say, it is a thicker canvas. It's I got it at Joann's, and it's probably like a good 1.5 inches thick. And at Joann's, they have few different kinds of canvases to choose from. This one's called the Gallery. It's like part of the Gallery series. Their Gallery series. This is all I was able to find today, which is the Artist series. So as you can see, it's thinner, but you will still get the idea of what I did and how I made it. It's an 8x8 canvas, and I'm actually using the back side. So here's the front of the canvas, and just turn it over. And oh, this is actually one I prepared. So here, let me show you what it looks like to start. And it's cool because you have this wood frame. I love the staples and all the imperfections showing, and you can make a shadow box type of project with it. So we're going to get right to it and how I started with this. So the first thing I grabbed was the texture paste, the white crackle texture paste by Finnabair. It's really fantastic. The number for this is 961503. We have lots of other crackle paste. We have clear, platinum, gold. What I like about the white is it kind of acted as almost like a gesso in a way, but much thicker. So some of the crumbs came out. So, and actually for the application for this, I used a palette knife. You could use like a old hotel key card or something like that. If you don't have, a palette knife handy, that'll be fine, because really you're just kind of dragging it along this whole back side. And as I do it, I'm gonna put it on pretty thick. Now, I see this ledge right along here. It's kind of where the canvas and the wood meet together. So I did fill that in with the paste. Okay, and you can see I'm just kind of it's like frosting, just frosting it on. You can certainly use a paintbrush, but I feel like the unevenness from the palette knife actually gives it kind of like that, like if you had a piece of wood and it was an old rustic piece of wood, it kind of probably has layers of paint on it, right? And worn over the years. So that's kind of the look that I was going for with this. And I couldn't decide if it was actually a worn leather look or worn wood look, but I just was in love with the results. So this is what you're going to do. And you are going to apply this fairly thick. The thicker you apply this, the bigger your cracks are going to be. Okay, silly. So, and zapping it with a heat gun is fine, except when you do that, you're going to get the little tiny porcelain cracks, okay? When you when you just let it kind of air dry, you're going to get those nice big cracks, and the thicker it is, like the thicker it is in the areas, that's where it's really going to concentrate and have really nice big crackles, okay? And even for the inside of the frame, I just kind of went along with the palette knife and just did like the wood piece here. So I can lift it up there and show you, like it's not real pretty. Like you can see where, like, you know, they put slits in the wood and joined it together. Just fill that in with the crackle, or the crackle paste. And that way you won't see it once it dries, and it'll crackle really, really, really well. So this is kind of like, you know, patient work. You can scrape off extra. You want to make sure you cover your wood. You can go back and take a little bit off in certain areas. Maybe you want some of that wood to show, because once we start inking this, you know, we kind of want to see like parts of that. So you can go back with the palette knife, and you can also make sure those cracks are filled in too. And you can kind of just drag it back and forth very lightly, and you're going to get really interesting lines. See, just like that. See how it's like really nice and thick right there? Okay, so like I was saying before, you can heat gun it, but if you want nice big cracks, you know, that's kind of, you'd kind of like to let it sit. And actually what I did to speed up the process, I took a little small fan, a regular fan, and I set this in front of my fan, and I just left it for like an hour. And I will show you, because I just did kind of show you, you know, what I had already done ahead of time, so I kind of did a step out here. But you get the idea. You want it nice and thick, you're going to do all the edges, you know, and just get it on there. And then just leave it. Leave it in front of your fan, like I said. And I'm going to set this on a piece of paper towel so it doesn't muck up my table, because this is kind of the messy part, but it's the fun part. Okay, so let's pretend that I let it dry. And now I'm going to show you. See some of those cracks that came through? And even with filling that in, that's really where, you know, some of it kind of came apart. Down here, I did exactly what I wanted to do, where I really left it nice and thick in those areas. Now, if I wanted more crackle, I could go back and add more of it and then let it dry again. So you can apply this in layering and just make it look, I kind of like this because this kind of looks like, you know, an old window pane. Like they always have those lines and those cracks where the wood is shrunk and gone back together. And again here, so you can kind of see it's not perfect. It's kind of messy. You can see some of that wood coming through, and you can see that I did all the inside. And I just did a very thin layer around the edges. Let's see if I can get it to focus on. It's going to be kind of funny right now because it's white. So the camera typically does not like, let's see, does not like the white showing up on the camera. Hold on a second. Sorry, my screen went off. But you get the idea, like there's some right there. Okay, so moving on to my next phase. Let's pretend that dried. For the inside, it's like that nice raw canvas. So I'm going to prime it with some water. I've just got like a little water sprayer here. And I have the Color Bloom Spray Soft Teal. This is a really, really light color. The number is 573782. You can see there's blue pigment and mica in the bottom of this. And I'm going to shake it up really good and get all that mica going. Let's see. Do you think the staples would rust through the crackle paste? I do not think so. There's really a lot of thick layers over the staples. I think you're fine. It's almost like it's almost like a sealant in a way. So I can't see it. But if it did rust, I'm telling you, by the time I'm finished with this, you won't even see. And it might actually add some cool, might actually look kind of cool. Okay, so I'm just dipping my paintbrush right into the bottle directly. And I'm just putting it in there because to spray it, you know, I can spray it in the crackle, but there's really no sense because I'm going to cover it anyway with a much darker color. It won't even show. Plus, this way I can kind of get in and up, like up in here on the inside of the canvas to make sure the color goes all the way through. So I'm not being very neat. I'm being kind of messy. I'm just getting the color on there, but you can see it's really beautiful blue color. Now what's cool is that you guys could really customize this and put any color you want on the inside. I just like the blue for sky. I don't know. It doesn't have to be sky. It can be whatever you like. You know, and I did get some like little bits of the white crackle paste on the canvas itself, and I'm not even worried about that. It's fine. It shows up a little bit, but you know, so just be careful of that if you really don't want that. Okay, so I think I'm pretty good. This is pretty easy step here. Just putting the color bloom in here. All right, and then I just wiped it off with my fingers if it got on the frame at all. Easy peasy. All right, so now I'm going to put this back on because you don't ever want to continue working with, you know, your bottle left open like that. You will spill it. At least I know I would. All right, so next phase. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the chalk edgers. Now, we have two different kinds. We have a resist chalk edger, okay, and then we have our regular chalk edger. So the regular chalk edger is water-based. It's a water-based ink. It's a dye ink. And then the resist will be permanent, but you do have to heat set it. That's the key. So like you can take these colors and move them around and manipulate them as much as you want. And then as soon as you heat set it, that's it. They're permanent. So they won't come back off on your fingers. Now let's say all you have are the regular chalk edgers and you haven't invested in the resist. The key to that would be to take the regular chalk edger and go all around, and then I would take like a gel medium and I would dip my finger in it and run it over the original chalk edger just to seal it. Okay, so that will keep that from moving. But with the resist, okay, and the resist chalk edgers come in sets. I'm not sure what the number is. Let me see if I've got it up on the screen over here. I apologize. But in this set, I have teak wall and knotted wood. Let's see if it'll focus. Focus. Oh, doesn't feel like, okay, there we go. So we've got kind of a, you know, array of shades. Now, to me, it does not matter which one I do first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start really dabbing the chalk edger right into the frame. Just direct. No right way, wrong way. The harder you press, the darker spots you're going to get. Just like that. Okay, so right now I am applying the knotted wood. All right, and I'm not being careful. And then I'm going to take the teak wall and kind of do the same thing. So these are fairly juicy. Okay. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my fingers, and this is where I really work it into all of that crackle, all of those little crevices, okay? And if it starts to dry a little bit too fast, don't worry. You can just add a little bit of water and reconstitute it because, like I said, you're still able to move that around and really work that in while you haven't set it yet. Now, I can even take some of the dark bark, like this is another brown. This is like a really popular brown. And I can actually put this on with the resist. Okay. Now I can mix together with my fingers and really rub that in. And it's still going to heat set. It's still going to be okay because I'm mixing it together with the other inks. So it's going to be fine. And I think sometimes the more brown you have and you start mixing and adding and, you know, kind of playing around with this, you're just going to get a really nice effect. And there's no way to wreck this. So I'm going to hold this close up so that you can start to see how that looks. Like it does kind of look like wood, but it does kind of look like leather too. So you can keep blending and mixing. You're going to get a workout. I'm just telling you guys. This does make you sweat a little bit because you're working your little fingers to the bone. Okay? Now I'm going to just try to keep doing this as fast as I can so that you don't have to sit here and watch me, you know, play around with ink. But you can see how quickly, how easily, you know, and after I go over with one, I'll just go over all the blank spots with the other. And you can just continue to work those in. And what I've noticed too with the Resist inkers, they're not as juicy as the regular chalk edgers. Like they tend to be a little bit drier, which I think is interesting, but that's the formula. Now I'm going to go in. See now, and I don't even worry about mixing my colors together because they're all kind of browns. I mean, you can't really see one from the other. So I'm not even wrecking, you know, the inks. Well, at least I don't think I am. I'll find out later. So this is, I just love this. And yes, it would have been really easy to just spray it with a couple different sprays, but I feel like you get more control. You can really work the ink into those little crackles and those little areas. And there's just something about this that just looks kind of cool. You know, and so, and even if you've got darker spots, just balance it out a little bit. Now you can even take a little bit of water, right? And move it around even more. So if you really want to kind of swish that and just have maybe some of that white coming through, that looks really cool too. And you don't need a lot of water, just a little bit. Okay? Don't saturate it. Well, it's your project, you can do whatever you want, but I don't think it's necessary. That's what I'm saying. So look how cool that looks. You know, it just kind of brought it back to life for a second. And like I said, your fingers are going to get a workout. And even if you put too much water on, let's say this area up here now is a little bit too bright, that's okay. Just go back in with a little more ink. And it's still going to be a little moist, so then you can keep, you know, adding that in. I make you cuckle. Someone says I make you cuckle. That's funny. All right, so you can see my fingers are getting worn out. So now, just like on my original project, you do want to do like all the outside because you're going to see that when it's hanging in your wall. Now, let's say you want to go in and do the insides. Not a problem because you have that flat edge of the chalk edger that just kind of works on that flat edge for you really nicely. And plus you can get into the corners pretty well. So I'm just going to keep going with this. And you also have a point on there too. So the point can kind of get down in there if you really want it to. Okay. Just like that. I'll keep going around. Oh, where's my teak wall? I've been forgetting to use that one too. So, you know, I've got a few different colors going on here and it's really working for me. Now, like it would be cool to maybe mix some grays together, like maybe some blacks and grays, and make it look like, you know, really woodsy and worn, like worn wood. But for me, I think I like the brown. I like doing kind of that leather look. It's just kind of look cool. All right. So I'm going to get it in there. And that's really it. Okay, sorry if I was off camera a little bit. And then I'm going to put my caps back on my inks because, you know, I'm notorious for never washing my brushes and leaving my inks open. So you don't want to do that. Oops. Oh, oops. Sorry. Sorry about that. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and heat set it just for a second. I hope you don't mind the noise. But this is really going to make all of the ink dry permanently. So you do have to set it. And I'm going to hold it up for you too when I'm done. I know I'm probably way too close to my heat gun, but I'm going to hurry. I want it to dry. And it does dry really fast. And I want to kind of zap that canvas on the inside too. Get my cord mixing together here. It doesn't matter if this isn't all the way dry, it'll still work. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to hold it up so you can see just some of that detail. And get the drift. But see, if I had really added a nice thick coat, you know, more, even more so down here, the crackle would have just been like, whoa, pretty awesome. And then it really would look like old worn leather. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about the outside, but you would do basically the exact same thing I just did on this part. So I'm just going to spray my hands here and just wipe them off because I just want to show you now, like I think my finger's fairly clean and there's nothing. So that's it. It's dry. It's done. It's on there, baby. All right, moving on to the next part. So that was really kind of a cool technique. Now, I found some branches and sticks in my yard. I know that sounds pretty cheesy, but hey, these are dead. And I have to be really careful with them because they are kind of dried out. Like they fell out of the tree and they are just done. So I picked a couple of these earlier today and yeah, you can see they just snap right off. But I tuck them into like the inside of the canvas so that they look like they're continual, and then I like it kind of hanging out over the side too. So what I did, and I would probably use, I mean, Fabri-Tac is fine, 3-in-1 is fine for this, but I really would have preferred to use Quick Grip, which is like a real permanent, very thin glue by Beacon, the same company that makes the Fabri-Tac, because I just don't ever want it to move. With the Fabri-Tac, I think we're still going to be okay, but I think for something that's going to be open to all the elements and hanging in, you know, your home, it might be a wise idea to, you know, maybe get that extra glue, that extra strong glue. Okay, so I think I want, so I'm just kind of playing around with these branches. Like I don't really know what I'm going to end up using here. But I think I'm going to take this one off and maybe have it come like that. I think that would be kind of pretty. What do you think? Like you're going to answer me back. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to just tuck that right in. So it's right into the canvas right there. And probably stick some more glue in there just to be sure. But what's cool about the Fabri-Tac is it'll just grab right on and it'll be perfect. So that's really it. I mean, for the branches, I mean, it was kind of cool and they were on the ground and I thought they're so pretty, but they are brittle, so I do have to be careful when I'm working with them right now. Now, I'd really love for this branch to lay against the canvas, so I am going to just add a little bit of glue to it and just hold it down for a second because I want that right on that canvas. Oh my gosh. Okay, and that shouldn't take long. Those branches are naked. They are these poor things. There were no leaves. It was a hard winter. They didn't really have anywhere to go except down. All right, so while I'm holding on to this just for a second, I wanted to show you, again, I know I used these the last show, but I love them. And these are the Rodanthe flowers, and this particular set is called Esplanade, and the number is 577759. And yeah, I'm gonna have to weigh that down. Sorry. So, you know what I did here, I'm just gonna kind of set this aside. I'm gonna grab, you know, just like a handful of these flowers. Look how many you get. It's like the box explodes when you open it. It's just like, look at this. 64 flowers, you know, and this is why I have to use it for this show because I had so many left over from the last show. I'm just kidding. I really love them. That's why I wanted to use them. Okay, so now I can start kind of building and making my own little flowers. And I kept the flowers white. You know, I think a good idea would have been to, you know, maybe spray these with tea stain color bloom spray if I wanted, you know, maybe to age them a little bit. So if you don't want them really white, you know, just kind of give them a little squirt, let them dry, and then you have some really fun flowers to play with. And some added rustic charm, of course. So I'm just going to gather a couple little flowers, too. Like these are, I think, the smaller size in here. And then I have, these are like cute little branches that come with the set. And they're just little guys. Let's see if I can get them to focus. So I just cut these off with scissors. And so these will be tucked in amongst the whole scene. Okay. I'm just gonna, I don't know if I should cut them off now because I don't know if I'll find them later. Yeah, doesn't that happen? Like things just disappear. All right, so I'm gonna put the flower explosion back. That was kind of fun. Kind of fun. And I'll keep these handy. Excuse me for my my coughing a little bit here. It's my throat's a little dry. Next, I'm going to take some memory hardware pearls. Now, these are from Frank's Memory Hardware Collection, Frank Garcia. And the number of these are 990398. And inside the jar, you're going to get these beautiful burgundy pearls. You're going to get some black pearls, and then, of course, the gold. And instead of driving myself crazy, I usually just kind of try to pull out a handful and stick them in the lid. And then I don't have to dig. I have big hands. I can't dig through that jar. So what I did was I love all of these, and I think they just add so much. Now, I could have added the plum. Oh, those would have been pretty, but I really like the gold. I thought the gold was a really nice touch, very fresh. And all I'm going to do is put a blob of the Fabri-Tac and just add the pearls right in. Now, I suppose you could add the glue to every little pearl if you wanted to, but it's not really worth the aggravation. Okay, so you get your flowers nice and pretty. And let's see, I have like, on my original canvas, I have like 3 little groups of flowers that have the pearls in them. So I'm going to do 3. There's a nice little, I'll do another little set of little small flowers, sorry. Put some glue on. Okay, so I put my blob of glue in the middle of this one, and I'm just going to rest some pearls in this. I think I'm going to go all kind of, oops, smaller size. Ooh, this one got really blobby. Okay, just like that. So I'll show you. Pretty easy. And maybe just a couple in this little guy here. Okay, so we've got that. And I have some butterflies here. These are called Farfalla, and they are really beautiful little vellum butterflies. Let me see. The number is 580377. And as you can see, you don't really see very clearly in the box or online, like if you don't get a chance to shop for them. But see how they're 3-dimensional? I think I used these on my other canvas, and I'm kind of addicted. And they just look like they're going to fly away. Like they're really pretty. And in the box, you also just get simple vellum ones, you know, without any color. So they're just ready to color and customize as you want. You get 12 butterflies in one box. So I just love these guys. I think they're so cute. Actually, I need the box right now, so I'm going to dump them all out. I'm good with the pearls, so I'm going to kind of take these out of the way. And I'm going to grab a teeny tiny little paintbrush and my 3D gloss gel, which now my branch There, I need something else to weigh it down. So it didn't matter if I used the 3D or a regular gloss gel for this technique. I like the 3D gel. It's really thick and creamy and kind of have a crush on it a little bit. And I'm going to just dab it in between the pearls. My paintbrush, I don't know if you can see. Like, you know, I'm kind of being messy, but it's okay. And then I'm going to grab, these are brand new from the Finnabair collection also. These are the micro beads, and this is copper colored. And the number for this is 962579. And if you guys are looking for the complete list of everything I used, don't worry, you don't have to rewatch the show. I post every Thursday on the Prima blog the list of products we use, plus on Facebook and actually right here on Ustream. Once the shows are, like I schedule the shows, and I always put the list, and then once they're recorded, I go back and put the list under the video again. So you will always have access to the product list, even if the video is like a month old. No worries. So see, there you have it. So I added, let's see if I can get that to focus. Look at that. It kind of looks like, oh, let's see, I'm trying to get it to focus. It did focus, and then I moved my hand. Darn it. Let's see. I'll go really close. Well, it kind of looks like pollen. I don't know, that's what it reminds me of. Pollen. It just, I'm like really irritating myself right now. Okay, let me do another. Jeez. Jeez Louise. So again, just dabbing that 3D gel right in there. And the 3D gel actually works well for, like, even though these are micro beads, they're not huge, they really will grab onto like these little roly guys that are just going to go nuts, you know, all over. Let's see if I can get it to focus this time. Oh, still no issues. And they bounce because they're little tiny balls, so they'll bounce. And there, and I just tap off the excess, and it looks kind of cool. And I just thought it was kind of a fun thing. So the micro beads we have like pink and lavender, green, the copper as you saw, and also a bronze, which is really pretty. It's really, really pretty. Okay, just sprinkling this on, a little sprinkle on a little sunshine. All right, and I'm just gonna, I'll be finding these micro beads for weeks. I'm gonna just put a little bit more here. All right, see some glue. If you see a little extra glue spot where it didn't cover, just re-pour, just to make sure that you get that. Man, I'm really bumming out about the focusing. I need to not worry about it so much, I guess. But maybe it's because the flower's white. I don't, oh, there it goes. So that's kind of cool, right? A little cool texture. All right. So, okay, I'm over that now that I got it focused. All right, so we're really on to the very easy part here. I'm just going to set this aside. Does anybody have any questions? I know I'm kind of moving right along, and this is going to be a really easy, kind of quick project. So I hope I'm not missing any important questions, or you guys need anything. Okay. So I also have my favorite leaves. I can't make a project without my favorite leaves, of course. I'm just going to put the micro beads over here. Excuse me for reaching over. It's becoming chaotic already over here. So now let's get the canvas slid back down here into the camera. And I think that glue should be fine now. I just put a little bit of weight on it because it does bend, and if I feel like if I push too much on the branch, it'll break, and I don't really want that. So now I can start placing my flowers, you know, anywhere I want on the branches. And I could go, oh yeah, you know, you could go in with your heat gun and zap the microbead so that the gel medium dries a little bit, which I might do real quick. I just keep thinking as I manipulate the flowers, they're probably going to come off because they weren't really set. That could be. And I'm going to figure out where I want to position these, where I like them. I think that looks okay. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to get out my glue. And like I said, the other box I had was much deeper. It was a little bit deeper, which I think kind of makes a little bit of a difference. Not huge, but I felt like, I don't know, like everything kind of was tucked in and tucked away, you know, more so. All right, so I'm going to do that. You can kind of have them going under the branch a little bit. Won't make too much of a difference. I actually might move this guy here. And I'll show you in a sec how I'm going to just kind of balance these guys out. Because, you know, sometimes having them all in a row like that is like kind of boring. Not always, but kind of is. So what I did is I took some of the smaller plainer ones. I'll add a little bit of glue to the bottom. And, you know, maybe I just want it kind of tucked in underneath this one. Just a little bit, just to add, you know, a little extra there. And then remember the little, little teeny tiny flowers, which I was using before. I'm just gonna, yeah, I lost them already, so no worries. I'm gonna clip these ones off here. And so these little guys, I suppose they're meant to go into the middle of the flowers, you know, to be like little flower centers, but I kind of like them as just little added extra touch, like a little filler here and there. Here and there. And they kind of sit nicely on the branches. Like they're not too heavy, and they kind of just rest there really nicely. And I think I'll use one more. And maybe put it up here. Okay. There we go. All right, so you can see it's starting to come to life. And I know you're probably wondering why I didn't add leaves first, but I never do. I don't like to be kind of stuck, you know, with, oh, I put my leaf there. I gotta put my flower there now. You know, that's not, the leaf is the accent. So it's totally okay to just slide those, you know, under and around the flowers that you have. And once you get it tucked in, you can just slip a little glue under there and then just have it set. And I guess I did move that one flower. That's okay. Now another pretty thing you could do is maybe add a little bit of glitter to the leaves, maybe stamp on them, add another dimension of color. That would be really fun too. All right. And I just happen to love the green on these leaves. I am going to tell Prima to get these in again, because not that they always listen to me, you guys, but sometimes by some miracle they do. And I know nobody would be really that heartbroken except for me, but you know, I love them. I just love them. So I just snipped a little bit off the end because this one's kind of big. I just want a little bit there. I think that would be pretty. And you can have the leaves going under the branches, over the branches, like, you know, wherever you want. I think they would look just really pretty no matter what. Let's see here. Maybe a little one here. This one would look kind of pretty. Just finish this one off. Let's see. I seem to have a little glue bridge here that's preventing me from adding it. So I think that looks pretty good there. There we go. So you guys want to see, so far so good, and it's really kind of come to life, nature-y. color your, you know, your flowers any way any color you want. Color the background any color you want. Depends on what your home decor colors are. So this is another new product from our Memory Hardware collection. These are Marseille pulls, is what Frank has named them. And they're like little drawer pulls. I actually have these on my cabinets in my kitchen in silver or brushed nickel. And I just thought it looked so cool here at the bottom. So it does come with little brads for the holes. I ripped the package open so the brads went everywhere. And I do just kind of tuck that little brad in there just to give it a finished look. And I just bend it one way. So, so they can fall out. Just like that. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm all thumbs tonight. Hold on. Okay. So, there, like that. So, I'll just glue that right on. And I'm going to be very careful not to lose my brads. Don't lose your brads. Okay. And make sure the little ends are going the right way so they don't stick up once you glue it down. And I'm just going to kind of eye this. Now you can use like a ruler, of course, and make little pencil marks and stuff if you really want to. But it's okay. So I'm just going to just really press that in, make sure that that stays. Okay, just like that. See, it's coming together. And next, next I have, let's see, I have a couple of butterflies to choose from. And I could even put like an unexpected orange one in there. I think that actually might look kind of cute. If you guys feel strongly about one or the other, just let me know. I won't glue it down yet. I'll just wait a second. Because I know I talk and then you hear me like a few seconds later. So no worries. You let me know which one you like. All right. I'll get that out of the way. And I also have some of my very favorite May Arts green linen ribbon. It's very fat. It's like 1.5 inch thick. And all I did was make a little loop like this. And I'm just going to tie. Probably shouldn't tie a knot, but I didn't bring my stapler down. I kind of stapled it to the back. So I'm going to try to make this knot as flat as possible, which isn't really, I don't know if that's going to happen. So because I just want a little something to hang the top of the canvas from. And, you know, I didn't do anything that spectacular to make sure that it sticks to the back of the canvas. I just used a little bit of glue. Let me just tilt that. So here's my original. See, this is just to hang it. You can hang it on a pretty knob or something like that. So you guys like the orange one? Yeah, the orange one really does pop, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue to this ribbon. And I'm just going to, again, eyeball it and kind of press it into the glue. So then that'll just kind of set up and rest. Of course, that knot is going to cause it not to lay nice and flat against your wall. But for the purpose of the show, I just kind of wanted to show you that was really all I did. And then shall add the orange butterfly because it is really pretty. And it does pick up on like the gold that's already, you know, going on in the middle of our flowers. And I like him right on the branches too. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And let's see, I'm just behind the flower. I'm just going to kind of press him in. So, just like that. Pretty easy, huh? Look at that ribbon is staying. That Fabri-Tac really worked fast. And I'll go back in later and, you know, do the outside edges. But really, that is it, you guys. That is all I did. So simple. So pretty. You know, you can use your leftover flowers. You can use anything you have in your stash. And say you like worked on a canvas like and you're like, I ruined it. I hate it. So like just turn it over and use the back side of it. Pretty easy. Here, I'll put them side by side so that you can see. the difference. See the difference with like the deeper, like I really like the deeper one, but this one is really pretty too. And I think actually I might give this to my mom for Mother's Day. I think she would love this in her little, her apartment. Like she has a little wall space outside her door in her apartment, and she could hang it right there and, you know, just have it kind of decorate her hallway. So that's it, you guys. I know that was a fast one, huh? Does anybody have any questions? Oh, yes, cherry tree blossoms. Yes. You could do them in pinks and really go crazy. If, you know, that would be beautiful for spring. You love it? Oh, you're welcome, Kathy. Thanks for coming. Hi, Pammer. Okay, so a lot of my friends are here tonight. So nice. So that is that. 2 announcements. The next show coming up next Tuesday on March 31st is Frank Garcia with a spectacular layout, of course, by Frank, using the Archivist line and his memory hardware pieces, and of course flowers with nothing green. He hates green. And then we will kick off April on the 2nd of April, which is next Thursday night. I was originally going to be on, but I might have Adrienne do that night instead with the layout she was originally going to do tonight, because I know a lot of you guys were really looking forward to seeing that. Oh my gosh, Barbara, really? Barbara just said that this would make an amazing baby gift. I think so too. This would look so beautiful in a nursery, right? And you can change up the colors, and oh, it would look darling. It really would. So, oh, you're welcome. And it's just nice to have a simple project on the show that you guys could easily recreate. It really took nothing to do. And I mean, it's, you know, why not? I mean, this is a great gift idea. It's great for Mother's Day. It's great for babies. Oh my gosh, so many great gift ideas. So I'm going to swing it up now so you can see my face again. Okay. Woo! Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And we really appreciate all of the support and love we get from all of our Live with Prima fans. You know, I hope you guys have a great weekend and you guys get crafty and the weather's nice for you. And, you know, thanks a lot for joining me tonight. All right. So I'll log off in just a sec, and thanks again. So see you next week, or see you at the next show.